morning, children. How are you? This is Srikant signing in as usual for contracts 1. So, we are seeing about the capacity of the parties to the contract. So, unless and until the both contracting parties have the requisite capacity, they cannot enter into an agreement, and if they enter into the agreement, it is unenforceable. So, all the essential conditions of section 10 should be satisfied. So, yesterday we are seeing about capacity or disqualification of the parties to the contract. Minors, persons of unsound mind, disqualified by law, they are not competent to contract, even though the person is a major, even though he is possessing a sound mind, still these persons will be disqualified by the law to enter into the contract. டூ பர்சன்ஸ் இருந்தப்போ அவள் மேஜராக இருந்தாலும் எல்லா கண்டிஷன்ஸும் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ணால் கூட கோர்ட் என்ன சொல்லுவோம்னா நீங்கள் கான்ட்ராக்ட்லக்கு உள்ள என்டர் ஆகக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லுவோம். டிஸ்குவாலிஃபிகேஷன் சம் 2 இயர்ஸ் 3 இயர்ஸ் 5 இயர்ஸ் நீங்கள் கான்ட்ராக்டில் என்டர் ஆகக்கூடாதுன்னு கோர்ட்டு சொல்லும். அப்போ என்னன்னாக்கா அவன் మేజర్ ఆనాலும் సౌండ్ మైండ్ ఆనాலும் కాంట్రాక్ట్లోకి వాడు ఎంటర్ కాకూడదు. దిస్ ఈస్ వాట్ ద ఇన్కెపాసిటీ ఆర్ డిస్క్వాలిఫికేషన్ టు కాంట్రాక్ట్. అండ్ వీఆర్ సీయింగ్ అబౌట్ మైనర్స్ కాంట్రాక్ట్. సో ద కాంట్రాక్టింగ్ పార్టీ షుడ్ బి కంపీటెంట్ టు కాంట్రాక్ట్, and section 11 expressly provides that a person who has not attained the age of majority according to the law to which he is subject, if he is a minor, he is incompetent to enter into a contract. Now we have seen that if you enter into the contract with a minor, what happens? It is void ab initio. From the beginning itself it is void. In this context we have seen one case law. What is that case law? Mohiri Bibi versus Dharmadas Ghosh. We have seen that case law. It is the rule in Mohiri Bibi versus Dharmadas Ghosh. What happens in this case? One minor mortgaged his house for rupees 20,000 to one person, and he has taken 8,000 rupees. Subsequently he did not pay the amount, he did not return the advance, and the money lender asked the money. This minor filed a suit for set asiding the mortgage deed. The court held that contract is not enforceable on the ground that an agreement with the minor is void ab initio. Second, we have seen promisee or beneficiary but not promisor. That means minor can accept the benefits under the contract, but he is not liable for the obligation. Example is gift. Gift can be accepted by the minor. Now no ratification. No ratification means subsequent acceptance. For example, A is there, B is there. B is a minor. Without knowing that A enter into the contract with B, what happens? It's void ab initio. Why? B is a minor. But after B attaining majority, B will tell to A that don't worry, I will ratify your contract. I am approving your contract. This is also not supported by the courts. It cannot support a fresh promise by the minor even after the attainment of the majority. Only at the time of entering into the contract, if the person is a minor, the benefits of minority would continue even after attaining his majority. He need not ratify the liability after attaining his majority. This we have seen. Now we are going to see another ingredient is no restitution. Restitution means returning. Suppose A is there, B is there. B is a minor. A has given money to the B. Subsequently, B does not return the money. A will go to the court asking the court to give back the money. Then court will say minor need not return or restitute the benefits received under void or voidable agreements. Why? Contract with a minor is a void or voidable agreements. Court will say minor need not return or restitute the benefits. Suppose if a minor obtains some property by fraudulently misrepresenting his age, then he can be ordered to restore the property or goods he has obtained. This is called equitable doctrine. மைனர் கிட்ட ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி இருந்தாக்கா கோர்ட் சொல்லும் மைனர் கொடுக்க சொல்லி, காசு இருந்தால் சொல்ல முடியாது. வை? மணி பீயிங் ஜென்ரலி not traceable, a minor cannot be asked to restore it. So, in the nutshell, what happens is a minor need not return or restitute the benefits received under void or voidable agreements. If a minor obtains some property by fraudulently misrepresenting his age, then he can be ordered to restore the property or goods thus obtained. This is known as equitable doctrine. ప్రాపర్టీ ఉంటే మాత్రము మైనర్ ఇమ్మని చెప్తుంది కోర్టు, డబ్బులు ఉంటే కుదరదు. ఎందుకంటే డబ్బులు ఖర్చు పెట్టేస్తాడు వాడు. సో హీ విల్ స్పెండ్ ది మనీ. Here there is one case is there, Leslie versus Shield. Here what happens is one person by fraudulently representing himself to be a major, he asked the plaintiff to lend him 200 pounds, twice 200 plus 200. Subsequently, this minor did not return the money. The plaintiff filed the suit to recover 200 plus 200, 400 pounds plus 75 pounds with interest. Then this minor has taken the plea of minority. The court dismissed the suit and told that you cannot recover the money from the minor. So a minor need not return or restitute the benefits received under void or voidable agreements. So if he has obtained some property, he has to restore. But if he has taken money, minor cannot be asked to restore it. Right? No estoppel. Estoppel means shut your mouth. It is the section 115 of the Indian Evidence Act contains this. Estoppel means once if you say yes, subsequently you cannot say no. If you say no, subsequently you cannot say yes. This is enshrined in section 115 of the Indian Evidence Act. If you read section 115, kindly read this thing. One person has his declaration, act or omission by his words or whatever it may be. A is there, he is telling B to believe that something is true. Then subsequently he cannot tell that that thing is false. ஒரு வாட்டி அது இருக்குன்னு சொன்னா விட்டு அப்புறம் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லக்கூடாது. சொன்னப்போ கோர்ட் என்ன சொல்லும் தெரியுமா? யூ ஆர் எஸ்டாப்டு, ப்ளீஸ் ஷட் யுவர் மவுத். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ன சொன்ன நீ? இருக்குன்னு சொன்ன, இப்போ இல்லைன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. ஸோ ஒன்ஸ் இஃப் யூ டெல் எஸ், யூ cannot tell no. Once if you tell no, you cannot tell yes. This is the doctrine of estoppel. Now, whether this doctrine of estoppel can be made applicable to this Evidence Act is the question. So, section 115 of the Indian Evidence Act speaks about this. Let us see this section. When one person has his declaration, act or omission. same word. When one person has his declaration, act or omission intentionally caused or permitted another person to believe a thing to be true and to act upon such belief, neither he nor his representatives shall be allowed in any suit or proceeding between himself and such person or his representative to deny the truth of that thing. I'd explain this, don't worry. When one person has his declaration, act, or omission, by his declaration, act, or conduct, intentionally caused or permitted, that means he is telling another person to believe a thing to be true. Suppose A is telling that that thing is true, and based upon A's words, B is acting upon such belief, then subsequently A or his representatives in a suit or proceeding between A and B shall deny the truth of that thing. Now, the question is whether a minor who has made a false representation as to his age is stopped from pleading his minority. A is there, B is there. We will see how the estoppel works. A enters into a contract with B. B is telling to A that I am a major. Believing the words of B, A enters into contract with B. B is telling what? I am a major. Subsequently, when A asks for the money, B is telling that I am a minor. Then the courts will tell that normal cases B is stopped, but he is a minor, he cannot be made applicable to the principle of estoppel. That's what court said. ஸோ ஒரு வாட்டி அவன் மைனர் மேஜர்னு சொன்னா விட்டு அப்புறம் இல்லைன்னு சொல்ல முடியுமான்னா நார்மலி சொல்லக்கூடாது, பட் మైనర్ சொல்லலாம். ఎందుకన్నా ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఆఫ్ ఎస్టోపల్ అంటారు మైనర్స్కి అప్లై ఆగాదు. నార్మలీ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే ఒకసారి నువ్వు చెప్పిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ కుదరదు కాదు అని కోర్టులో చెప్పకూడదు. ఎందుకు? ఎస్టోపల్ ఆపరేట్ అవుతుంది. కానీ మైనర్స్ వాళ్ళకి ఎస్టోపల్ ఆపరేట్ కాదు. కాబట్టి వాడు మేజర్ అని చెప్పిన తర్వాత కోర్టుకి వెళ్ళి మైనర్ అన్నా కూడా వాడు మైనర్ అయితే కోర్టు ఏం చెప్తుంది అంటే கான்ட்ராக்ட் வாயிட். அவன் மேஜர்ன்னு சொன்னா கூட அப்புறம் கோர்ட்டுக்கிட்ட போய் நான் மைனர்னு சொன்னான், கோர்ட் வந்து என்ன சொல்லணும்னா அவன் தப்பு சொன்னா கூட அவன் மைனர், அதனால அந்த கான்ட்ராக்ட் செல்லாதுன்னு சொல்லும். ஸோ இஃப் எ மைனர் by misrepresenting himself as a major enters into a contract, then he cannot stopped from pleading minority to get benefits under the contract. So if a minor by misrepresenting himself as a major enters into a contract, then he cannot be stopped from pleading minority to get benefits under the contract. Why? The principle of estoppel does not apply to minors. Normally principle of estoppel will apply to all the persons except minors. So if a minor by misrepresenting himself as a major enters into a contract, then he cannot be stopped from pleading minority to get benefits under the contract. Next one is no specific performance. Specific performance means it's a suit for specific performance, suit for injunction, so suit for declaratory decrees. Normally different types of suits will be there. I will tell what is meant by specific performance. What happens is A is there, B is there. B is a minor. A enters into a contract for sale of a house. B is telling to A that I am going to sell my house. B is a minor. He is telling that I am going to sell my house. So believing the words of B, A has paid some money to B. Subsequently, B turns out to be a minor. Then A cannot go to the court, ask the court to sell the house by B to A. Specifically, B cannot be ordered by the court to sell the house to A. No specific performance. A minor cannot be sued for specific performance of the contract. Why? Minor's agreement being void, it cannot be specifically enforced. Remember, against minor, but agreements in favor of minor are perfectly void. Agreements which are beneficial to the minor are valid. The only difficulty is that minor cannot claim specific performance of an agreement because specific performance being an equitable remedy can be granted only when there is the specific what is called qualifications in the contract. Depends upon mutuality of the persons. So minor கிட்ட என்ன பண்ணோம்னா ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக அது கேட்க முடியாது. Why? Because minor cannot be sued for specific performance of the contract. So minor's agreement being void cannot be specifically enforced, but agreements in favor of a minor are perfectly valid when the agreements which are beneficial to the minor are valid. So a minor cannot be sued for specific performance of the contract. In fact, minor cannot be sued for anything. Remember, no restitution, no estoppel, it's void ab initio. He can be a promisee and beneficiary but not promisor. Now we are going to see another thing which is known as vicarious liability. Vicarious liability means liability incurred for the another, liability of one person for the acts of another. For example, minor is there, minor has taken money from one person. Subsequently, if assume that A and B are there, B is a minor, B has taken money from A, then A filed a suit against B. Court told that B is a minor, suit is unenforceable. Then A will ask the court, please give me my money from B's parents. Then court tell, minor is not vicariously liable. Parent or guardian is not vicariously liable for the liability of the minor. Understand? So A will ask the court, please give me my money from B's parents. Court will sell. Parent or guardian is not vicariously liable for the liability of the minor, but only there is some exceptions are there. It is known as quasi contracts. Normal thing is minor is not liable to meet any liability. However, he is liable for necessaries supplied to him or his dependents. If minor takes money for food, if minor takes money for clothes, if minor takes money for his rent, if minor takes money for education, if minor takes money for funeral expenses, if minor takes money for his marriage, then he is liable for these only. Remaining things minor is not liable. This is known as quasi contracts, which has been enshrined under section 68 of the Indian Contract Act. So we will see when the section 68 comes, we will discuss about quasi contractual obligation. Remember, minor is not liable for anything, only if he has taken money for his necessities like food, cloth, residence, education, funeral expenses, marriage expenses of his sisters, then he will be held liable. So now, in a nutshell, if you enter into a contract with a minor, it is void ab initio, then he can be only a promisee or beneficiary but not promisor. Then minor cannot ratify the contract. There is no restitution in minor's agreement, no estoppel, no specific performance, and no vicarious liability. So these are the qualifications or capacity of the parties to enter into the contract. So the party should be a major, the party should possess sound mind, party should not be disqualified by law to enter into the contract, plus they have to satisfy all the essential conditions under section 10 of the Indian Contract Act. So there should be two parties, consensus ad idem, capacity to contract, free consent, lawful consideration, legal relationship, lawful object, terms must be certain, and possibility of performance. So all essentials of conditions of the contract ought to be satisfied, plus especially he should be a major and he should be a person of sound mind. Yes, students, I think you understood this. Tomorrow we are going to see another topic. Have a good day. Read well, read well. Exams are fast approaching. Yeah, this is Srikant signing off today.